I like to watch the credits of movies because I like to see the names of this army of people that just made the thing that I watched. And similarly, I am fascinated by restaurants too. A group of people all working together, in theory, to make food, to make people's days or nights. The art of food, the science of cooking, and the business of making all those pieces fit to meet demand. My guest today is a dear friend, Brendan Haig, owner of Bees Barbecue. I have known Brendan for years, and he's told me firsthand over the years about the various opportunities and challenges when it comes to running a restaurant in Cincinnati. So I thought before we have him on, we will take a look at some of the ups and downs the industry has seen more recently. It can be a little bit busy sometimes.
5 minutes. I got you, Chef.
Great. T, I want you to help me set plates, please.
Yes, Chef.
Thank you. Okay, Richie. Drive.
Okay, guys, we're gonna refire for focaccia, okay? We're gonna walk that first.
You know, that's interesting. That's a clip from a later season of The Bear on FX when things, in theory, are a little more organized. Season 1 is just absolute chaos. But still, that element of chaos is something I always like to ask restaurant folks about. I like to watch the credits of movies because I like to see the names of this army of people that just made the thing that I watched. And similarly, I am fascinated by restaurants too. A group of people all working together, in theory, to make food, to make people's days or nights. The art of food, the science of cooking, and the business of making all those pieces fit to meet demand. Food's such a crucial and intimate part of the culture of a city. Here, of course, we have Cincinnati-style chili. Goetta is another one of our most well-known dishes, combining meat and oats. And of course, French pot ice cream is the distinctive custard-based ice cream in a spinning metal pot, famously made by Graeter's ice cream. This is not an exhaustive list of the cultural dishes of this area. When it comes to Cincinnati's restaurant scene, though, that's an industry that's really been on the rise for at least the last 15 years or so when it comes to both quality and diversity. Take a look at these stats from oysterlink.com. Breakdown of number of restaurants in a given neighborhood in the city. Of course, downtown, the urban core, really getting a lot of the focus there. But over the Rhine, just north of that, with the second highest amount of restaurants, Mount Adams, the old go-to spot for going out before the revolution we saw in Over the Rhine, with 150 listed there by oysterlink.com. Clifton with a bunch because certainly a lot of hungry students at UC. And just sort of moving on down the list. I like how it's not necessarily based on the affluence of a given neighborhood determining how many restaurants are in a given place. So much of that has to do with just local decision making from entrepreneurs. Over 1,500 restaurants just in the city of Cincinnati alone, from burgers to pizza to fine dining. There are just so many quality places all competing on incredibly tight margins, something that we're all trying to keep an eye out for. University of Cincinnati doctoral student Hannah Dahlke used county health licensing data to track restaurant openings and closings in the city between the year 2008 and 2023. So that's the map of that data tracking there. You can see those lighter blue dots represent closed restaurants over that long period, again, from 2008 to 2023. No surprise, Hannah Dahlke's research found a spike in Cincinnati restaurant closures in 2009 after the Great Recession hit, and in 2022, 2 years into COVID. Those tight margins that restaurants exist under, even in the good times, are always a challenge. And when you have outside forces like a global pandemic, that puts restaurants that are just getting by at risk themselves. Something that we've been talking about a lot on this show is inflation and the price of energy having big effects on nearly every sector of the economy. You may remember, especially for restaurants, that chicken prices blew up a few years ago. Wings especially affected by that. And while those prices have regulated a bit in the last couple of years, now you've got the price of beef really spiking. Any restaurateur will tell you if it isn't one thing, it's another. Fewer than 8% of Cincinnati restaurants closed in their first year during that period of Dalkey's research, and that is roughly twice as successful as the national average. She also found that at the neighborhood level, closures were strongly correlated to higher restaurant density and higher crime stats. The topic of public safety is an ongoing topic in any city. And crime can lead to the downfall of any business, whether it drives away customers from a given area or hurts the business itself. When it comes to staffing, this is another tremendous, never-ending challenge for restaurants. The National Restaurant Association's State of the Industry report from just last year said that the vast majority, nearly 80% of restaurant operators across the country, say that recruiting and retaining employees is a significant challenge. A recent piece in the Cincinnati Business Courier on the challenges of restaurant ownership quoted Chef David Jackman of Wildweed, which opened at 13th and Walnut just in 2024. He said, quote, "I think it is important to point out that as an owner that grew up in a culture of abuse and sacrifice, I don't want my team to struggle the same way I did. But there's a large discrepancy between what expectations are in the industry and what wages used to be," end quote. Entry-level wages for kitchen staff in this area typically now start at $15 to $20 an hour, while the fine dining servers earn between $19 and $23 an hour. Operators are increasingly relying on flexible app-based platforms over traditional agencies, and I found that interesting considering the number of conversations that we've had on this show about the importance of relationships in business. To be clear, there are a lot of bright spots in the Cincinnati restaurant scene. I don't want to just get bogged down with the challenges of it. Let's start with Wildweed, which David and Lydia Jackman just won North America's 50 Best Restaurants One to Watch Award just this past spring, and that is all of North America, not just the U.S. David Jackman has also been recognized by the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and more. He was a James Beard Award finalist last year, and this area specifically had 3 James Beard finalists this year: Sarah Dworak for Sedova, Jeffrey Harris for Nolia Kitchen, and David Willocks for the Baker's Table in Newport. There were 4 Cincinnati restaurants named to Open Table's top 100 in the country last year. The only spots in the state to make that list: Jeff Ruby's Steakhouse, Pep and Dolores, Soto, and another Ruby spot, The Precinct, recognized among the nation's best when it comes to the reservation app. Certainly Boca and Mita's have been consistently listed as top restaurants locally, garnering national attention of their own. And Cincinnati's 21st century restaurant accolades go back even further than that. Take a look at this cool footage. You know, I think that sort of stuff is just fascinating to watch. I could watch that all day. Credit to the Hilton Netherland Garden Hotel for that footage. That is behind-the-scenes video from the Orchids at Palm Court from a decade ago. But that video was put up right after that restaurant won AAA's 5 Diamond rating. One of only 63 restaurants in the country to achieve that in that year, and the only one in Ohio to do so. And there's a very prestigious future ahead for Cincinnati restaurants as well, as they are now going to be eligible to earn Michelin stars, which of course is the top honor in the restaurant world. That all comes in the aftermath of Michelin Guide first creating a Great Lakes edition last year that did not include Cincinnati. Major oversight, but they are repairing it. There are already anonymous Michelin Guide inspectors checking out the local scene. Restaurants are ranked in that category by 5 criteria: product quality, mass mastery of cooking techniques, harmony of flavors, the personality of the chef, of which there's usually no shortage, and the consistency across the menu. Trying to win a Michelin star is a big part of the work and chaos from those episodes of the Bear TV show that we set the table of this segment with. So good luck to all you culinary pros here in this town. We are lucky to have you. That's your Big Bite.